Hello everyone, we're back. I'm Stephane, the games teacher.
And I'm Tracy, the gaming maven.
We're co-hosts of To Die 4 Games, also regular Dice Tower contributors on the Dice Tower Network. And we're here to do tonight a live playthrough of...
The Key to the City of London.
This is a game by Sebastian Bleasdale and Richard Breese. Our edition is published by Quined Games out of Holland. And so that's what we're bringing to you tonight. We have a two-player setup ready to go.
Yes. So, anyone who's familiar... Sorry? Turn that
Not
down.
do anything now. Did I break it?
Don't mind us. There we go. Just had to turn the volume down on my version of our feed because I like to watch our feed and kind of look at the chat, so couldn't get the volume down. But anyways, so this game is actually fairly similar to an earlier version of a game done by these designers called Keyflower. So there's a whole line of key games, Keydom, like the Cathedral,
Key Market, Key
all
Harvest,
sorts.
Keyflower, and all the expansions for Keyflower. So if you have played Keyflower, a lot of the mechanics are going to be very familiar to you, which is a good thing.
However, I was a little hesitant because I was thinking, did I want to get this game if we already have the other one? This one actually does have enough different mechanics, I find, to make it actually a worthwhile investment to get, at least for us, because I love the key games so much. It was worth it for us to get this game. When we played it, it had quite a bit of different stuff going on.
I'll give you more details about the game in the review portion at the end of our gameplay.
Yeah.
So for now, we're all set up. I'm going to switch to an overhead view, and we'll get started.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here we have the overhead view of the game. A few things we have going on. So the tiles here, the 10 tiles that you see, are the tiles that are on offer for this era. In Keyflower, we play in 4 seasons. In Key to the City of London, we play in 4 eras. Yeah. So we're going to start with the Era 1 tiles. There are 6 of them. And we're also going to start with 4 building tiles that are available for us to bid or act on during this era.
Correct. So we do also have one starting tile. It's a little different than the starting tile in Keyflower.
Home tile.
Home tile, yes. Everyone's got the same home tile, more or less, unlike the other one where you can have different paths and stuff. The having to place beside this there's no requirement to place beside things, but you'll start to notice with these little connectors, once we start to play, you'll see that these connector colors will determine where you might want to play the tiles.
They definitely play into your strategy quite a bit. So in addition to the tiles, as Tracy pointed out, we have the colorful connectors. Mm-hmm. We also have what will be somewhat familiar for Keyflower players are these skill tiles. And in this case, we have bricks for construction, we have coins for finances, and we have a compass for architects. So 3 key skills we need to build our city.
Now, one thing of note with these, unlike Keyflower, these ones aren't hidden. They're double-sided, so they're not hidden as in the other games. So you choose which ones you're going to get. So.
Sorry, just bringing up the chat here because I forgot to do so earlier.
All right, so one thing we didn't do because we're going to show you, and we also didn't really want to know what we have behind our things. Now, we're going to try not to look at the screen too much and pay attention to what the other has behind their screen, but in the overhead shot, it allows you to see what we're doing. So, if you don't mind passing me the bag, I'm going to draw my 10. So you start with 10, but then as we progress, as in with Keyflower, you're going to get a variable amount depending upon where you are.
Okay, so we now have the chat on screen.
And there we go. So there's my 10. And you can take your 10 to start with.
And I'll do the same. So we'll try not to peek behind each other's screens as much as we can, which means, looking at the,
a little tricky,
the overhead view.
Well, I just won't pay attention too much. So, because, like I said, people who aren't familiar with Keyflower, the idea is you have these meeples behind here, and you're going to be playing them out to bid on tiles, to activate tiles either in the general area or in your city. You can even play onto someone else's city, but where you play them is going to depend on whether you get them back or not.
And you can also use the same meeples to upgrade your tiles as well. So the 3 different actions you can use the meeples for.
Exactly. So, and there are 3 colors. Now, there are 6 colors of the connectors. So this is the big difference, really quickly, is there are 6 different colors of connectors. And the connectors you're going to be able to collect similar to the resource cube, the cubes in the other game. But these you do have to place right away. So if you don't have room to place them, you obviously don't take them, but you can pretty much play them anywhere. You don't have to play them on the tile that you took them with.
I find this rule set is a little bit more streamlined than Keyflower, but at the same time, I think it's a little bit more thinky. It's a little bit more strategic, or at least it requires a different type of strategy than the original Keyflower did. So again, I think even if you already have Keyflower, this might be a good addition to your board game.
I think so. So as you see, you're going to see it in the gameplay.
We've randomly determined who's going to be the start player. I'm playing green, and so I will start. My home tile is Greenwich, so I have basically it's a university in London. The game also includes a booklet that includes a nice historical description of all the various features of London that are depicted on the tiles. And as we activate the different tiles, we'll call out the different names of the places so you can see them on screen.
So, without further ado,
one final thing I want to point out. These 4 tiles in the upper corner are going to come out in the final era, in Era 4.
Hey, Alden, how are you?
Hey, Alden. So yeah, those are the end game scoring conditions that we know of and are playing towards in advance. Correct. So we can kind of plan for that, but those tiles aren't going to become available until Era 4. And then over here we have the next era of tiles and the building tiles, which will come out again in Eras 2 and 3.
Oh,
where does this rank in Key Games?
I would say probably second. Keyflower still holds a very special place in my heart. This would definitely be second. It's similar enough for me to really enjoy it that much, but different enough to still like it on its own merit. So that for me is probably the best
I echo exactly what Tracy said. Same thing for me. It's definitely a solid second place right behind Keyflower.
Key Harvest is pretty good, and we have Cathedral, which we just found. Haven't played it yet, so I'm not quite sure where that one's.
Yeah, still looking for Key Market. Although right now I saw prices for that was going upwards of €300. So if someone wants to get me a nice Christmas gift and has deep pockets, I'll look forward to a copy of Key Market. Yeah. But for now, we're Key to the City of London. So, I am start player, and my first action, so you can use meeples in 3 ways, as Tracy said. You could use them to bid on a tile, in which case I would place my meeple next to the tile on my side, or you can use it on a tile to activate the tile's effect. In this case, the Barbican building, when I activate it, will generate 1 red and 1 brown connector. And I'm going to do that.
Now, in Keyflower, we usually put them on the ones that we activate with on the same side as well. So the thing about this is it's fairly easy to remember that if it's a 6-player game and all 6 players are playing, you always play your bid or your activating to that side, just so people know who did what.
I'm going to move this meeple to the center just to uncover the action possibility. Now, the key connectors that I just collected, I need to place in my village right away. Even if I don't have tiles to connect them to, I can still choose where they go, and I have to do that right away or discard them. I can't hold on to them and place them later.
Yeah. Some people might find this a bit fiddly, but I personally like it. It doesn't add that much fiddliness to it, I find it, but it is tricky because you have to play them, even if you're, elbows knock them, then you got to be careful. All right, so now the trick is if I wanted to even bid, so let's say I wanted to bid on this, I would have to use the same color, which I think I'm going to actually do because I'm going to want that for maybe later. Now, if he wanted to bid, anytime you bid or activate the tile, you have to do 1 more than what's there. So if it's 1, then I have to do 2, then you have to do 3, so on and so forth. Not bidding to activating, but if everyone activates, it has to be more, and for any bids have to be more.
Unlike Keyflower, there is no limit to the number of times a tile can be activated. In Keyflower, you could only activate up to 3 times, which meant 1 meeple to activate the first time, 2 to activate the second time, and 3 more meeples to activate the third time, and that would be the limit. But in Key to the City of London, they've done away with that arbitrary 3 activation limit.
Which I think worked in that game. I never activate anything more than 3 times because that then starts to require a lot of meeples.
Now, I can let Tracy, not compete for this bid for this tile. But if I do so, then she's going to get this meeple at the end of the era. She'll lose the winning bid loses, and the meeples go back to the bag. But any meeples on the tile will become the property of the person who won the bid.
Yeah.
So I'm going to actually compete with her on this bid.
Well then.
And because she bid 1, I now have to bid 2 to be sure that my bid is in the lead right now.
So on my next turn, how badly
And
do I
notice
want
all
that?
the meeples relative to a given tile have to be of the same color. So if you run out of meeples of that color, you can't take any further actions with that tile.
I don't know if I want that badly. So I'm actually going to move my bids. You can move a losing bid. I can either add to it or on my next turn. This is where it's also different than Keyflower. And this actually caused a lot of arguments in Keyflower. Was when you move your bid, is it immediate or afterwards? It actually says in the rulebook subsequent turns. So I don't have to move it right away. So I'm actually going to hold on. And I'm going to
Play somewhere else.
Yes, I'm going to play here. And this is going to get me a gray and a black. Now, everybody's palace requires, in order to be able to upgrade it, you need to have 6 different, six different connectors.
6 different colored connectors.
6 different colored connectors. In Keyflower, it's an upgrade tile, an upgrade action.
I'm going to place a yellow meeple on Battersea Power Station, which allows me to generate a blue and a yellow connector. And I'll grab those from the supply. The supply is limited, so if there's no connectors of a given color when you go to claim them, tough cookies.
And of course, knowing what's going to come up in that 4th era, or what is known as the winter season, in this case it's the 4th era, is going to determine what you're trying to do, what you're trying to collect. So I like this guy over here. I'm going to bid for the Royal Albert Hall, which doesn't get me anything to activate. However, when I upgrade it, it will be worth more points, and I'll actually get to upgrade it all the way to this fun little thing here, which is actually a 3-dimensional model or 3-dimensional picture of the
Royal Albert Hall.
And it's worth 12 points, so they're kind of handy if you can get them upgraded all the way.
I like this tile. It's hard for you to see, but I'm going to show it up here in the camera. It's called gherkin, like the pickles.
Yes.
And it kind of looks like a pickle stuck into the ground a little bit, I guess. So maybe that's I don't know what the name gherkin refers to. I'll have to look it up. Conveniently, they give you that information in the booklet that comes with the box.
Oh, there you go.
With the game. So my next action is going to be to activate Paddington Station. Because Tracy already used a blue meeple, I have to activate it
By
using 2 blue meeples. And now that becomes an interesting target for someone to bid on if they still have blue meeples left, because that would give them 3 blue meeples at the end of the era.
Correct.
So when I activate that, I get a black and a gray connector. And those will be all the different color connectors that I need on my home tile in order to upgrade, because this symbol means that I require 6 different color connectors in order to upgrade it. When you upgrade the tile, you'll just flip it over to the other side. It'll be worth more victory points.
I am going to...
Thank you, Halden, for that information.
Yes, it is. It's and these are all actual buildings that are in London. So I'm actually bidding for Battersea Power Station, because I'm going to lose that one, so I'm going to hopefully get that one.
Curiously enough, Gherkin is right beside the London Eye, so...
Is it in London?
It's a building near the London Eye, which is right beside...
look at
they're
that.
right beside each other on the game board, too. So there we go. Conveniently serendipitous. There we go. All right, so we've talked about bidding, we've talked about upgrading, and we've talked about activating a tile. 2 other actions that you can choose from are to pass. A pass is temporary, and so you, when you pass, you can still come back and still take actions in this current era. However, you can also choose to sail down the Thames in this case. And if you do, you move into the next era and you're done, and the remaining players can still take actions until they choose to sail into the next era.
Correct.
So those are the 5 options you have to your disposal. Right now, I want to do one more thing, and that is to I'm going to upgrade my home tile. So I have 6 different colored connectors on my home tile, which is the requirement I need to upgrade it. So this is what we talked about fiddliness before. We now have to temporarily remove the connectors, remove the meeple, flip the tile over. Only have to do this one time per tile, though. So it's not too bad.
And now he has 6 points at the end of the game. So the nice thing about this game I like, and it can be a little confusing at first, is all these numbers over here are the points you get. So unlike Keyflower, the original side doesn't have points in that game. In this game they do, because these are actually harder to upgrade than in the other game. Then it gives you points for upgraded, and then if you upgrade some of the certain ones that are a third time with this, then you'll get 12 points. So every tile has upgrade points. Alright, so...
Back to Tracy for her next action.
I'm going to move this guy because I just can't do it, unfortunately. So I think I'm going to activate this in order to get myself a banker. Is that what this is? The coin?
The coin is a banker, yeah.
So these are needed to upgrade certain tiles. Certain tiles will require... In this case, it needs a specific one, so you need specific ones, or some are wild.
For instance, Battersea Power Station here requires a coin in order to upgrade.
Which is good, considering I'm bidding for that one.
There you go. I am going to bid on the Senate House.
Interesting.
Now, why upgrade your home tile? Not only is it worth points when you upgrade your tiles, it's worth additional points. The home tile has an action which allows you to trade one skill tile of any type for two skill tiles of any type. You can keep the same type and just get another one, or you can trade them in for two totally different types. So it allows you to multiply your skill tiles that you collect throughout the game, which can be useful for upgrading other tiles later on.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to bid on that Paddington Station because I lose 1 meeple, but I'll gain 3 if I win the bid.
It's not a bad idea.
And let's see what Steph counters with.
I'm going to sail down the Thames, so forego any further actions this era. Now, when you move down the Thames, you can choose which of the spaces to move to, and different spaces will have different numbers of meeples. So that's the number of meeples you get at the start of the next era. Actually, you get it immediately when you sail down there, so I'll collect those out of the bag now. However, this is spaces to the right go first, spaces to the left go last. I've chosen the lastmost space, but as a bonus, it allows me to collect at the end of the era the river tile that I see here for no cost. So I get to basically take that once Tracy's moved off of it.
It does. Now I'm
going to get 6 more meeples out of the bag, randomly drawn. Don't look.
Sorry, can you put that on London Eye for me? I'm going to bid on London Eye.
London Eye. Okay.
And with that, I'm also going to now set sail because I like what I have.
And which position would you like? You can get 7 or 8.
I would like to get 8.
Might as well get the extra meeple.
Why not? There's no one in front of me.
So she gets her 8 meeples out of the bag. And now we'll resolve all of the bids and activations. So first of all, do we have any losing bids? Because if so, the players get those meeples back. No, there are no outbid bids. Next, we'll go player by player. So
this comes back or into the bag.
That goes into the bag. So any meeples on that you were used to activate tiles get returned to the bag unless that tile was bid for.
Yeah. Now I will take this one
and get those
I'll
3.
Get those meeples, but I will not get this one. This one will go back in the bag.
Correct.
And I'll place those in a second.
I'll get this one. This will go into the bag.
This will go in the bag, and I'll get this one.
Tracy also won this one, and that goes into the bag.
And I get London Eye.
And I get the Barbican, so I get this meeple back, but these 2 go into the bag. And Tracy wins London Eye, and this meeple goes back in the bag.
Correct.
The remaining tiles that we didn't bid on are discarded out of the game. You don't get to continue bidding on them. We'll just go in the box.
Now I have to look at here what needs to be upgraded. So when placing... Like I said, in Keyflower, you actually have to place road to road to match, because in order to move the items, you need to upgrade tiles. You need to match the roads. In this case, you don't need to, but the upgrades might... what you need to upgrade, in this case, for example, I need 2 blue connecting to it, and I need to cash in a tile, tool tile. So right now I don't have any blue out, so I'm going to play that there. And then I don't need any specific colors to upgrade that. Actually, none of mine require specific upgrades. However, this does need red, so I'm going to put it over here.
So it's important to note, once you've placed connectors on the board, they cannot be moved. So have to be careful of that and plan accordingly.
Now, visually, it doesn't have to be like this, but I just want to do that because,
Also, for those watching at home, I had a yellow meeple on my home tile that I used to activate it or upgrade it earlier. And again, that yellow meeple, because it was on top of the tile, comes back to my supply, and I get to use it in the next era.
Yeah, I know I made some pretty good moves, I think. So Steph did as well, getting his upgrade early. But I got a couple here that will allow me to hopefully upgrade to these bigger guys, which will be kind of nice. Now, one thing to note is if I wanted to, because I don't have a way of getting red or brown connectors, I can take Steph's action there, following all the rules, but then he'll get my meeple at the end of the round.
Right, so you can take actions on other people's tiles, but you sacrifice the meeples to do so.
That's correct.
So you got to be careful as to when that makes the most sense.
Yeah. So we're going to put these out. These are the Era 2 tiles. So there's 6 of these, and then we get 4 of the...
building tiles.
We'll bring them up this way.
We're spacing them out so that we can bid on them properly and give enough gap between them to bid on the various tiles.
So here's some more. So after the second era, because these are only in the base eras. So after this, there actually is no way to get any more of those.
Right. So the tiles that generate either connector tokens or skill tokens are only available in the first and second eras. Mm-hmm. In the third era and the fourth era, no more such tiles come out. So you've got to get what you need early in order to be able to do anything in the last couple of rounds. Mm-hmm.
So I'm first player now.
You are first player because you're furthest to the right on the river tile. Oh, I forgot. I also get this river tile, which I have to place, and it makes sense for me to place it here because it will give me bonus points for. And I flip it over when I get the river tile. It already comes upgraded.
Yeah.
So I'll get 2 points per blue connector touching the Hungerford Bridge tile that I just acquired. So it makes sense for me to place it in that spot on my map.
So speaking of activating your tile, I like that because it gives me both colors that I don't have.
I'll take your blue meeple.
I figured you would. So this is where the player interaction comes in. Normally you're just kind of doing stuff here and doing stuff there, but the bidding, and more players, obviously bidding is more important, but using other people's cities is going to cause some interaction because I'm now going to affect what he plays and stuff like that. So I will want a red here because I need a red to be able to upgrade that. I'll need 2 actually. And it doesn't really matter where I put this one, so I'm going to play it into there. Why not? That works.
I am going to bid on BT Tower. BT, I believe, is British Telecom.
Probably. Ooh, one of those is out. Interesting. Okay. I'm actually going to bid on Marble Arch because I didn't know this till the end of last game, but those ones there are continuous connection. So each unbroken chain of tiles that are connected by black connectors. I thought it was just like 2 for each.
You'll get 2 points. 1 point if it's not upgraded, or 2 points if it's upgraded for every tile that is connected to the Marble Arch via a chain of unbroken black connectors. This can become
quite handy. Yeah. Let's see how that goes.
Can score quite big. Means you want to get a lot of black connectors.
I do want to get a lot of black connectors.
All right. I'm going to activate a tile on my board. And in this case, I'm going to activate the Senate House, which generates for me a architect skill tile, and I put that tile behind my player board.
Okay. What do we want to do here? What do we want to do? I need those. So I think I want to trigger my own. You know what? I'm going to upgrade it first. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put one guy on this to upgrade it. So I'm going to upgrade this guy, and it requires a coin tile to do so, and I have to put my meeple on it. So I cash that in, and I turn it over. And now instead of 1 of each color, I'll get 2 blue and 2 yellow.
Doubling her connector production capacity for that tile.
6 points at the end of the game.
That's a pretty strong move. Pretty strong move.
I keep wanting to sing the London Calling song every time we play this game.
I'm going to activate Southwark Cathedral to get a brown and a blue connector.
So sometimes think if you know what people are going to have behind their screens just based on like knowing what they've collected and stuff like that, you can really shut someone out of bidding or activating a tile by placing a color you think they're low in, or they might be one to use for something else. So that's where it gets really tricky. I've bid for that, and okay. What's that bottom one there? It's just another one of these guys. Okay. So next I'm going to actually activate this tile. So now, even though I use that one specifically to upgrade, I still have to place 2. That's always one more than what's there.
To activate it.
Now it's one more than your last bid.
Placement, yeah.
So I have to place 3 next time, not 4. Just to clarify.
Yeah.
But that will get me 2 blue and 2 yellow. And I am right now going to place that there and there. And I don't really want that over there. However, I do want that there so I can upgrade that. Now I have all 6 colors. There we go.
I'm going to upgrade the Senate House. Now to upgrade the Senate House, it requires me to have 1 blue connector and also 1 connector of any other color. I have a blue connector and 2 other colors, so I'm good to go for that. And I used 2 meeples to upgrade it because I had previously activated the tile to generate an architect. So I'm going to now carefully flip the tile over, put it back the way it was, reconnect the connectors.
There's some fancy places here. So
and put the meeples back on.
Harrods, for example.
Yeah. And I'm done my action.
So I can't do what I want to do because I just realized I have not got what I need. I have those, but I do not have that. So I have 2 blue connectors attaching it, but I need also a skill tile of any type. So I am going to...
You can get a skill tile of any type from a couple of places on the board.
I think I want this one. Yes.
Get an architect tile.
So I'm going to get an architect tile from the library, which can be used later to do things with.
All right. What do I have left?
Now in Keyflower, it's actually a little house. So you have a similar shield, but it looks like a little house. Which I like visually. It's a little tricky to see your meeples because it's so low. It's a little hard, but it's very visually appealing. This is a little more practical.
Sorry, just looking to see what I can do here, or what I want to do. That is the question. No,
you can't play that there.
I gotta do.
You gotta do
it
red.
right color, red and red. So.
Yeah, so you're bidding on that guy.
Part of the strategy, of course, is trying to remember what color of meeples your opponent has behind that screen of theirs, and being able to know whether they can outbid you or not on a tile because they've run out of that color. So.
Or even divvying them up right. Like you want to make sure you don't short yourself on something.
Yeah.
So I'm now going to upgrade this guy because there's only 2 more arrows left. It's still going to take a while, but so I upgrade this by having 2 connectors, which I do, and cashing in any tool. I'm going to cash in the architect tool. Let's kind of slide those connectors back.
Flip it over.
Turn over.
And then put the meeple back in its spot. And the connectors back.
And now it'll get me 6 points. However, if I upgrade it again by having a tile, a token, and 3 connectors, 3 blue connectors, I can upgrade it to this guy, which will give me 12 points.
One other thing that I've always appreciated about the Keyflower game, and this game carries that as well, is that even the base game plays up to 6 players. So same with this game, it plays 2 to 6. It's a very different game with more players. Keyflower as well, it becomes much more competitive for the action spaces and the bidding as well. So a 2-player game can be, if you're not playing very cutthroat, can be fairly tame, but it becomes a lot tighter with the more players.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I am going to. I'm going to sail off into the sunset.
Wow.
And move further down the Thames. So I'm going to move away from Millennium Bridge.
That's me.
Sorry, Tracy's there.
I'm
green,
orange.
I'm green. And again, I want that river tile. So I'm going to take fewer meeples and go last in order to get this river tile at the end of the era.
I did that strategy last time.
You did, and I'm not trying to mirror your strategy from last night, but I'm just trying something different from what I tried last night.
Which is fine. Because it doesn't necessarily always work with what you're doing.
So I will get 5 meeples, please, out of the bag.
There you go.
Now, drawing the meeples from the bag is hidden, so you're relying on the honor system to know that your opponent doesn't take more than they're entitled to.
I'm looking at you.
There's a provision for that in the rules. It says if you're playing in a tournament mode or you don't trust the people you're playing, it doesn't actually say that, but those are my words. You have an opponent draw your meeples for you.
Blindly. You don't
blindly. They don't look at the colors. They hand them to you blindly. You look at them. If you didn't get the right amount, you advise them of such, and you show the number of meeples, and they do it all over again. Right. So that way, your opponents know that you're getting the correct number of meeples out of the bag and not cheating the game.
All right. So
Tracy and I trust each other a little more than that, however.
We do, and I don't think cheating is useful in a game personally, unless it's specifically a game about cheating.
Maybe for cheat or cheating mages
cheating
or
moths,
cheating
all stuff. All right, so I can go as many times as I want until I decide to set sail.
In fact, it's all about the Tracy show until she's done with her moves.
So I am upgrading this guy because I have six different. Sorry.
Okay.
So I'm going to upgrade my Palace of Westminster.
Nice.
So once you upgrade it, you don't move them, so it's not as fiddly as it looks. But all right, so there's that, which now allows me, like Steph's, the exact same thing. I can trade one token for two, and you can actually take the same one back. You can trade one in, get it back in another one, or whatever you want. I do have one other move that I want to make, and that is to bid for the British Library, because I'm not going to get any thingies if I don't. And how badly do I want that?
Do you want that one, or do you want Lloyd's Building, or Harrods, which all generate skill tiles?
Well, I'm debating about outbidding you for Southwark, but I already have blue, so I don't want to do that. I need red, so I'm actually going to do this. And then I'm going to set sail.
So again, you can go anywhere right of me gets you first place, but 7 meeples if you go in that spot. There's no reason for you not to take the spot with more meeples.
Exactly. If it was a larger player.
There's no scoring mechanism I've seen that rewards you for having less meeples at the end of the game. So.
No, and actually one of these is for every 3 different colored meeples.
Every
you get
set of 3
points.
different colors, yeah.
Having more meeples at the end of the game is a good strategy. If I win that tile. The thing is, just like in Keyflower and the winter ones, you still have to bid to win them.
So again, like the first era, we'll now resolve all of the workers that we put on our own cities or other people put on our city tiles come back behind our screen. We'll look at the bids for each of the tiles that are in play. Tracy wins that bid. She wins Charing Cross.
So I place it after.
I win Southwark Cathedral. This one goes back, but the meeple on the tile comes to my supply.
You'll win the British Telecom Tower.
I'll win BT Tower.
I will win the British Library with the meeple.
That bid goes into the supply.
And lastly, I will also get the Marble Arch. And you will also get the River Tile.
And I get the River Tile.
Now, interesting. What I need is not these. So that is no good. I'm going to put it over here because it's going to be my best bet.
It's important to note you can place tiles even if they're not connected via a connector, but most of the tiles will require some form of connector on them in order to upgrade them or provide scoring points later. So, but it is legal to place them initially without having any connectors going to them.
Yeah. And like I said, unlike Keyflower, you don't have to place them to match because the roads don't actually match. It's impossible to get them to do so.
In fact, Southwark Cathedral here has a bit of river section behind it, but it's a disjointed little pond apparently, and not actually on the Thames. So.
All right, so let's take this out of the way.
These tiles again come out of play.
And this is
in
where
the
it gets
third round.
Yes.
We get four building tiles, so only 4 tiles come out to play.
However,
they start upgraded.
So because you're getting further into the game, it's harder to upgrade the later tiles because you already have a whole bunch of tiles you're trying to upgrade. There's less to choose from, so you're probably going to activate more on your city.
Just trying to center them here on the screen.
And, yeah.
All right.
So, but of course with more meeples, you tend to do more stuff. So even though we're halfway through the game, we're not really halfway through the game because the first half goes quicker because there's less to do. Oh, and I get this guy back. So
you took your meeples out of the bag at the end of...
Yes, I did.
Okay,
yes, good. I did already.
All right. Then I think we're ready to go. And again, you are the first player to act in Era 3.
So this is for every blue that's connected to this tile, right?
That is for every.
Versus every connected.
Let me just confirm.
Oh no, that's like. Yep.
Yes.
Blue connected to this guy. All right. So I do go first again. Look at that. Okay. A few things to think about now. So I need to get myself some of those, but I want to upgrade first. So I will have to do. Where's my brown? Where's my brown? This isn't brown. This is gray. Oh gosh darn. You have brown. Oh, I don't want to give you any more meeples.
Give me your meeples.
No, I need a brown.
Send me your weary, your tired, your huddled meeples.
Not happy about that, but that's okay.
I may have gotten those in the wrong order, but...
Because I need a brown for that. I need 2 to be able to upgrade that, so I'm going to put that there because I'm going to need 2 red to upgrade that one specifically. I will need a 3rd to upgrade it to the...
I need you to stop placing things on my barbican.
Sorry, I needed it. I didn't even really think of it when I got that guy. I mostly wanted it because I wanted to be able to take a building token, like a token.
Because I wanted to upgrade it last turn, but I didn't have enough blue meeples. Because you placed a blue meeple on it to activate it. This time I do have enough yellow. So I have 2 yellow meeples, and I'm going to use them to upgrade the barbican.
It's because you took both brown. I guess I could have put it on Southport.
It requires me to spend an architect tile, which I'm going to put back in the supply. And so I will flip this guy over and then put the meeples back on.
Unless you're crazy wanting to get red, you can get brown here as well. But I didn't think of that. Otherwise, I would have went there.
It's all good.
Because actually, to be fair, I need the blue.
So
I should have actually went there.
That was my turn, and now it's back to you.
Handier. But that's okay. That is okay. No, actually, the red. Because I know I do get red there. Okay, sorry. Lots to think about in this game. Now I need to do that. So I'm going to grab a red guy. I'm going to upgrade him first. So I do have a brown and any other color. So I want to be able to get 2 tokens instead of just 1.
When the upgrade cost involves connectors, you don't spend the connectors. You just have to have the connectors on that tile.
Correct.
When the upgrade cost involves skill tokens, you have to spend the skill tokens back to the supply. So.
Yes. I love my beautiful little city here. Lovely. I can go Charing Cross Road and get a drink. Check out the London Eye. Never been to London, so I'd love to check it out someday.
This river should have come flipped over. So, again, my mistake. One easily corrected. So I'm going to activate the Senate House again to generate an architect and a coin token, or banker's token, and put those behind my screen. And that's my turn.
Sorry, I didn't put that guy back on. I was like, wait a minute, where'd the meeple go that I placed? Alright. I need to be able to do that. So, I'm going to... I need that too. I'm going to do this. Because I surprisingly do not create black even though I want to because of that. Black, connector tiles. And it's interesting, each of the connectors is actually a specific thing. So you have like sewer, gas, water. That's me. I did that. Oh, I do. Right. Thank you.
You can give me your meeple.
No, I don't want to.
But if you don't want to give me your meeple, you can create black connectors right there. I do not.
And you never have to take all the connectors because you have to place them somewhere, but you may not want to. But I, in fact, do. Do I need to have a specific gray one somewhere?
We've split the connectors up into 2 separate pools for the simplicity of the gameplay, but it's important to note that they're all a common pool. So if I run out of a color in my little bin, I can go fishing out of Tracy's and vice versa.
Yes.
I'm going to upgrade Southwark Cathedral for 1 red meeple. That costs me an architect tile.
And any other?
And any other tile, which I just generated in my previous action. Lets me flip Southwark Cathedral over.
Excuse me.
And there
sorry.
we go.
It's sad that 15 minutes later I got Halton's joke.
I think that's a good one.
I got it. Thanks, Halton.
London Eye.
Wow.
This might bode well for me if Tracy's that far gone that she didn't quite catch the joke.
I just thought I made a whole bunch of good moves and realized it was this very specific move.
When we played this last night, Tracy quite thoroughly trounced me. I think you were up by what, 119
points. 19 points.
20 points. It was
won by 19 points.
100 and something to 89 or 90, I think. So yeah, she won by a fair margin. So maybe her being tired tonight bodes well for my chances of victory.
It's not just that, like, I love the Keyflower theme, but the abstractness of playing these guys is really cool. So I need to play that there because I want to be able to upgrade it. And where I place the rest doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of this game right now. So I'll put it there, depending. Actually, it's not really going to matter. Put that there and that there. And so just so people kind of aware what are here, we do have for the end of the game is going to be for every 3 different colors is 3 points. For every 6
of any color,
2
6
points.
Connectors of any color. Yeah.
6 specific connectors of different colors. So for every 6,
set of all 6 colors.
All 6 colors, and then the other ones for each of the these guys that you have.
The standees, which themselves are worth 12 points. So
worth an additional 3 that way.
Plus an additional 3 for the Natural History Museum.
Surprising how I won.
All right.
Upgrade mine.
So you're finished your action?
I am.
I am going to generate 2 more skill tiles. And again, I'm going to take the Architect and the Coin. And it's Tracy's turn.
It is. So, speaking of which, I now have 3. I need those first. I
find it interesting how in this phase there's less activity out here because none of these actually provide usable actions. These are scoring tiles, which are useful for scoring points at end game. Okay. But notice how we haven't bid on any of them yet.
No.
We're still busy kind of doing actions in our city.
Because I gotta... So, I thought... I didn't take those, but then I realized I upgraded it. So I'm going to take an Architect and a Brick... I can't remember what they're called exactly. So...
I'm going to upgrade BT Tower, which requires me to have a coin and something else. And I'm going to discard those back to the supply and flip that tile over and put the meeple back where it was.
All right. So now I can do what I need to do.
And then...
Which is to... Let me use this guy. I'm going to upgrade this. So I need to have 3 blue connectors. I have 4, which is good. And then I need... I'm just looking at what things need. I'm going to hold on to that guy, and I'm going to spend my architect token to upgrade this guy. So all I simply do for that is I get to take this cool little standee, which just looks exactly like the actual item. And I'm going to put it on there, and now instead of worth 6, it's worth 12.
You just doubled your point score for that tile.
Doubled my point score, which I'm very happy about. And if I win a certain tile at the end of the game...
Could be worth even more points.
Although Steph really messed me up last night when he bid on tiles. He didn't actually end tiles that you didn't actually end up using, but denied me a whole bunch of points. I still won anyway.
My strategy didn't work. Sometimes you learn from failing, right? All right, I want to generate some connectors. So I'm going to place 2 red guys on Southwark Cathedral to generate 2 brown and 2 blue. Oh, that's not a blue. Where's the blue? And where's the brown? There we go. And I'm going to immediately place these out. No particular order.
And now I'm finally going to bid for a tile out here. I'm going to bid for St. Paul's Cathedral.
Well then. I think Tracy has the right idea, but the wrong tile. I'm going to go for the MI6 building.
Gonna get some spies.
Some spies. Some James Bondses. Some double aught X's.
Alright. Now I need... Don't have enough to do that. You have already got lots of meeples on yours, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. However, no, I can't do that yet either. So I need to do this first. And I'm going to get a gray and a red, which is the biggest thing that I need, which is...
The other nice feature about this game is that, as with the other Keyflower game, there's a fairly good tile reference at the back of the manual. So if you need to know what a tile does, it's usually fairly easy to look it up. In this case, I'm looking for the Millennium Bridge tile because I want to know... blah, blah, blah. The owner scores 2 victory points for each river tile that is connected directly or indirectly by a blue connector. The links must form an unbroken chain. So that's the scoring for this. Now, there are only 5 river tiles in the game, which are the 5 that comprise our turn order here.
But you don't get the 5th one. You only get the first 4.
Correct. Yeah.
So
at most, that would be worth 8 points.
Plus the one that's there, right?
Yeah, but this one is not quote-unquote a river tile.
No, but it said even indirectly connected to the river.
Yes.
So. All right. Did you take your turn?
I did not.
No, I was going to say.
You bid there, I bid there. What did you do after I bid here? You activated that?
I activated this to get those 2 because I need 3 red to be able to get my Royal Albert Hall.
Gotcha.
Which I really want.
I'm going to go for Tower Bridge.
Interesting. Fortunately, you have too many reds on your guys there.
Is that a problem?
Just a bit.
I don't see that that's a problem. Do you think it's a problem?
All right. So I'm going to trigger my Royal Albert Hall. I'm going to upgrade it because I need 3. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
You need 2 initially.
I haven't even upgraded to that yet. Okay, so I'm doing that then.
And you need a tile.
I was looking at the wrong thing. That was my own fault.
You can still do it. It'll just take it 2 actions instead of 1. And 2 skill tiles.
Yeah, exactly, which is not going to happen this turn. It's just not going to happen this turn.
Put the meeple back in place.
There we go. But now I can upgrade it later because I have 3.
Right.
Nice thing about playing them in your city, you get them back, so it's worth it to kind of maximize that, but then you're showing your opponent everything you have if you play it all out, so you gotta balance how much you want to...
We're going to see how this goes, because I'm going to now sail off into the sunset yet again, and imagine what I'm going to do. I want that river tile, because I want to get some more points from this Millennium Bridge. So that'll get me 4 more meeples out of the bag. If you'll pass me the bag, please. One, 2, 3. Go deep. There we go.
Okay. Where do I get them? Okay, I get them there. If I do that, I can't do that though.
I'll give that to you because
how
you'll be
badly
nice.
do I want to do that?
You can absolutely do that.
I can only do one of the 2 things. Just depending on how badly I want to mess you up.
Not at all.
Benefit myself or... I'm just trying to think here, because if you can see on screen, I haven't quite got enough to do both the things I want to do. So... I can do... You know what? That tile's not worth for me to do. I can mess you up, but I don't think I'm going to get a lot from it, so it's not worth me outbidding you there, even though you can't do anything about it. So I'm going to go there. Give myself a black and a gray connector. Oopsie. Because I mostly want to... So that's what's considered the unbroken chain, right? Because he played one of these types of tiles last night. I did not. So I did not get to actually see it in action. Sorry, I'm just debating what I'm going to want to put where. It's not really going to matter in the grand scheme of things where I put that.
So you're activating it, not upgrading it?
I'm activating it.
To generate
which was to get 1 and 1. Yeah.
That's fine.
Correct.
It's the Tracy show because I've passed into
It
the next era.
is. So that bottom one there is for every brown that's connected to it, right? The Westminster Cathedral?
Correct.
No, it's not worth it for me to lose a guy for. Sadly, I can't get that. So I think I might have to actually... Hold on here. Let me think. Let me just quickly look. Yes. That is... I'm going to pass as well. I'm going to set sail. And again, because I see no reason not to, since
No
you
reason
took
to
the
take
river
the
tile.
6 meeples.
That's right. I will take the 6 meeples. Did you take your meeples?
I did, yeah.
There we go. That's what we like to see. So I only won the 1 tile, so that will go back in the bag.
And I won those 2, so these go to me, that goes to you. This one comes out of the game, back into the box. And we place the tiles that we acquired.
Oh, and all these guys come back. Now, what's going to happen is these are no longer used. They're just there because you shuffle and so you have more replayability with those. But in the last era, we're actually going to put out these 4. So these are like in Keyflower, there's the winter ones. Now, that is one thing I think I like. I like this. I also like the mystery behind the ones you have in Keyflower.
Mm-hmm.
But this allows for a little less randomness because this is a highly strategic game. It's relying a lot on planning ahead, getting things going. I'm leery to say whether I like one versus the other because this one helps with strategy. You know what's there, so you can kind of plan ahead. Even though you still might not win the bids on them, you can at least know. Versus the winter, the only ones you know is what's in your hand. You don't know what everyone else has, and so yeah.
So the river tiles here, when we eventually set sail from Era 4 into the end game, you'll be awarded points depending on which spot you choose, which berth you choose along the river. Mm-hmm. And curiously, the player who goes in the topmost spot earns 10 victory points. Yes. The next spot earns 8 victory points. So you'd think, oh, it's a 2-point gap. I'd want to take the 10 points. However, the player who takes the 8th spot, the second last spot, also gets the Era 4 river tile, which itself is worth 6 victory points. So going to the second berth in that spot means you actually come ahead 4 points.
Mm-hmm. So unless you're not working with the river strategy, or you feel you're going to need to want to take those 6 points, but guarantee yourself, right? Like obviously 14 points is still better, but I'm not sure why you wouldn't take it. So I'm wondering, design-wise, what the factor was in that, because even me not collecting any rivers, it's worth it for me to get 14 points versus 10.
Right, yeah. Why not take 4 extra points? So
it's interesting.
I've yet to figure that one out, but if I come across a good explanation of that on Board Game Geek, I'll let you know.
Mm-hmm. So again, I'm first because Steph is doing the river strategy.
I did, however, you need to bring your meeples back to...
Thank you, and I did all but one. All right.
And again,
so
you're first.
You got to keep some in.
Did you take that action?
Nope. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Just not seeing my guys.
So it is your first action.
It is my first action. Okay, so my first action will be to...
So as you can see, with 2 players, this goes pretty quickly once both players know how to play. Yeah. If there isn't too much AP during the game. Obviously, with more players, there's a bit more of a downtime as people take their turns, and the game can extend quite a bit longer. Mm-hmm. So, but with 4 players who all know how to play, it's probably about a 90-minute game, and 6 players might bring it up to 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, this game can suffer a bit from AP, so you gotta be careful of that, because otherwise it takes forever. So I did take my first action, so we're good.
It is my turn.
Okay.
All right.
So that is not going to be good. Maybe taking that might not have been the smartest move. It's still worth 6.
I'm going to come here and get 2 blue.
Darn.
And 2 brown connectors.
So I think I may have... But that's okay. No, that's fine. Just realized I may have not maximized my strategy with that one tile. But I only bid 1 meeple on it, so it's still worth 6 points. Even if I don't upgrade it.
Back to you.
And I want to upgrade that first. So I'm going to do this. Use my blue. I'm going to spend my brick to upgrade Paddington Station.
The black connector.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. All right.
And that's my second turn. Yeah, because that's probably not going to happen.
I'm going to come here and get some black connectors.
Oh, you did you?
I did.
You did it.
I did.
You went there.
I did. I cannot tell a lie. And I also get gray connectors, because those are the 2 colors that I don't get. Actually, I do get black connectors. I don't get gray connectors.
So I took the St. Paul's Cathedral. It needs 3 brown. I don't have a single brown connected, and I'd have to go to Steph's. It's probably not going to happen this game. Because I don't know, I want to give you 3 meeples. A minimum of 3 meeples. So...
Back to you.
It is. Sadly, I do need to take that because I need the black connector tokens, which are... What are those again? I think those are gas. Can't remember what they all are. So I'm going to take 2 black connectors and 2 gray connectors. I'm going to play this here. And honestly, these ones are not necessarily very useful to me. So I will just simply, yes, play that there, and I'll play that there.
You can choose to discard the connectors if you don't want them, but generally speaking, it's usually a good idea to have them
Especially
anyway.
given some of the endgame conditions are to have connectors. Yeah. If you have spots you can put them, I would. My strategy is to put them to hopefully get one of those tiles.
Again, I'm going to generate 2 blue and 2 brown connectors. And I want to put that there, and then I want to put that there. And then these guys can go here and here.
Unfortunately, I do need some. Sorry. I'm going to take some brown connectors. I'm going to give you my meeple. Take some brown. So these are limited resources in the game. The connectors and the tiles. Now, we would never come close to finishing these tiles with 2 players. You could, in theory, use quite a few of these up with 2. With 4, it's even trickier. Doesn't quite matter where these go. So I'm going to play that there and that there.
I'm going to bid on Madame Tussauds Wax Museum.
Interesting. I need to go here, so I'm going to trade in my architect for a brick and a coin token. I have a plan. I have a plan. I don't know if it's a good plan, but it's a plan.
All right, I'm going to come here and get an architect and a coin token.
Problem is, a lot of my tiles, this is where you have to really look, a lot of my tiles require these tokens to upgrade, and I'm only got one place that I can get them from. So it's been a little bit challenging for me to do that.
And this is the final era in which we'll get to take actions, so we're really approaching endgame pretty quickly here.
Okay, I want to do this. So I'm upgrading this by doing 1 and 1, a brick and a coin. So those brick and coin tokens I just got, because now I want to be able to get 2 points
for every
each
connected black tile.
unbroken connected tile that has black connectors.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea.
Yes, doubling your points is always good.
Always a good plan. I'm going to place 3 red meeples on Southwark Cathedral again to generate 2 blue and 2 brown connectors.
So something else of note, I guess, would be a good thing to note at this point. I love when playing Kenziger. Yes, moi. The tricky thing is, like the other game, so these tiles, if you notice, this one and this one both require connector tokens. You cannot use them for both. So what I'm saying is this one cannot score for this one and for that one. You can only score for one of them. So that is similar in Keyflower. So getting both is almost redundant. Even with all the ones that I have, you'd really have to pay attention to how many am I going to use to that and how many will I have left for this.
Exactly.
So you got to decide which is the better move.
And I've placed my connectors, so my turn's done. Back to you.
I do need to do that one more time, unfortunately. So I'm going to go to the British Library again. Get myself a brick and an architect.
I'm going to activate Greenwich University and going to trade in a coin to get, basically it allows me to trade 1 tile for 2 other tiles.
That's right.
So I'm going to actually keep the coin and just get a brick.
Yeah, and those you have to let your opponents know. What you hide them, but
yeah,
you have to kind of let them know what you take.
And turns back to you.
Yes. Look at all those lovely meeples. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I'm going to do this. So, I now have the token I need, which is good. I have 3 red connectors connected to the Royal Albert Hall.
Good. So you don't flip it over.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right.
You've already upgraded it once and flipped it over.
My apologies. That's right.
Okay.
Eek.
So you'll just grab the 3D standee for Royal Albert Hall
I'll
and place it on top
Royal
of the
Albert
tile.
Hall. Place it on top, which will get me double the points of 12.
Nope, wrong tile.
Sorry. There.
There you go.
Sorry, excuse me.
Bless you.
Apologies.
All right. For my next trick, I want to bid on the Science Museum.
All right.
Science. She blinded me with science. Ooh, you sneaky, sneaky person. You sneaky, sneaky
So
person.
I now just outbid him for Madame Tussauds, so he'd have to spend 2 more to make 3.
I'm going to move my bid over here.
Killing me. So I'm just trying to calculate. Because the thing is, if I'm doing this, I don't want to lose too many, because then it wasn't worth it for me. How badly do I want to outbid him there? Because originally I was going to go there, but
So sorry.
Well, I did outbid him, so it was kind of my own doing. I'm just trying to see here. So just really quickly here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 brown, 4 red, 4. Where's 12? No, we're not gonna do that. That's good. So that was your turn. So I'm just quickly seeing. I'll never be able to do that. Because I don't want to give you 2 more meeples.
What
I need to
to
keep
do?
my meeples.
What
need to keep
to
my meeples.
do?
So that's not really going to be worth it. Just quickly looking here. I still need to do that. So I'm going to have to... Oh, I can do this. It's cheaper for me, meeple-wise. So I'm going to go here. And I'm going to trade in my brick for... I'm going to keep the brick and this one, which is a coin. So I find it interesting that you can get back, but there's only 3 types, so it would just say trade 1 for the 2 other types, but it doesn't. It's 1 for 2.
Done?
I am done.
I'm going to upgrade the tower bridge to double the points it's going to give me. It needs 2 blue connectors, which it has, and it also needs a brick, which I'm going to give back to the supply, and so I can just flip it over, drop that in place. And that tile's upgraded.
Mm-hmm. I see what you did there.
What did I do there?
Sneaky, sneaky. So I'm going to upgrade that, mostly because I want the 6 points instead of the 1. So I need to have 2, a brick specifically, and any other type. Charing Cross Road is getting an upgrade. It's now worth 6 points. 6 big points.
Nice. Similarly, I'm going to upgrade the MI6 building, which costs me an architect tile and a coin tile. Financier tile, so I'm going to flip that over same way. Put those connectors back as they were. And now that'll be worth double the points for me later on.
So this is actually a game that actually has a lot, not math per se, but I guess
weighing which option is going to
yeah.
give you the most points,
So
the most
this-
benefit.
I lose a blue to you. However, I get 2 black connectors and 2 yellow connectors. And the big thing I'm going to want to do... Kind of unfortunate I didn't leave myself a lot to connect more, but that's
The way the cookie crumbles.
the way the cookie crumbles. Oh, no, we're going to do that there. And then these other 2 don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. You have a lot of yellow on that tile. Interesting.
So I activate your Battersea Power Station in order to get 2 blue connectors and 2 yellow connectors.
This is kind of like trick-taking games for me. I get really serious. So towards the end of the game, it's like, what to do? All right, so I'm going to bid on the Natural History Museum.
I thought you might. It's worth at
Shocking.
least 6
It's
worth
worth
6 points. To you.
If I had been able to upgrade that, it would have been worth more,
That would be
I would have
nice.
lost way too many meeples to Steph in order to
That
upgrade
would
it.
be nice.
So it wouldn't have been worth it.
Got anything else I can steal from you over there? Not
Depending
really.
upon what kind of meeples you want to give me.
And with that, I think I'm going to conclude my turn with the usual
Set sail.
set sail
Take that
and
guy.
claim 8 points,
Yeah.
which will get me this tile, which is worth 6. So I'll get the 14-point endgame score for
So
that.
I've actually upgraded everything I can or need to upgrade, I believe. Let me just confirm. I could try to outbid stuff there, but I think I want to hold off because the calculations, I think, work in my favor to not spend 2 red to do that, because I would have spent 2 red and it would lose me points for this guy. So I'm also going to set sail. I'm going to set sail, obviously, 10-point mark. So look at me, 10 points at the end of the game.
So I'll start by claiming this river tile.
So I get this guy. These ones go back in the bag, as does this one. So now we don't draw any meeples. Now let's go back
I
in the
get
bag.
these 2.
Now all these come back over here. which is a very good thing for me. Oh. No, it wouldn't have mattered.
What?
I was thinking
What?
how I could have possibly connected these so they would have been unbroken instead of putting that there, but I don't think I could have done it. So you still place these out because they're still going to be part of the unbroken part of the chain. Yeah, see, it's not going to be unbroken, so it won't really matter where I put them. Putting those black connectors out didn't really help my cause there, but that's okay.
So now we're ready to score endgame, and here's where a calculator or maybe a writing pad would be useful, because you have to score each tile individually and kind of keep track of all that.
Since my phone is presently busy, I'm going to quickly grab a pen here.
And a piece of paper.
This will work. All right.
So let's score you first.
Okay, so
So
now
I'll
we can
know
show
what threshold I have to meet in order to win.
Okay, so first I'm going to score just the base ones here, and then I'll score the endgame ones.
Yep.
So I get 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 12. Plus 6. Plus another 6 and another 6. I managed to upgrade all of mine, more or less. So 6 and 6. This one I'll do in a second. That one I'll do in a second. That one I'll do in a second. And that is just 6 because I didn't get the upgrade on that. And sorry, I did 6 for that. It should have been 12. My apologies.
Did you score 12 for this guy?
I did.
Okay.
So 6, 12, 6, 6, 6, 6, 12, and 6. Good.
Okay. So how much does this one get you?
So it will get
2
me...
points for every connected tile by black.
So 2, 4.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go there, so 6.
It does so go to there.
But it has to be unbroken.
No. Anything connected to that. So that's an unbroken chain. That counts as 2 points.
I thought it was like...
It's not a single path. It's...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that counts.
I thought it was a single pass.
So
Because
start
unbroken
over.
chain automatically. So
2,
4,
4,
6,
6,
8, 10, 12, 14.
Correct.
Okay.
And then this gets you how much?
It'll get me 3 points for every one that I've
Standee.
upgraded to the standee.
So you have 6.
6 more points.
And then this one gets you 3 points per set of 3
Yes.
different colored meeples.
So I have, if I had another one, again, like I said, I wouldn't be able to use them for both, so I'd have to determine. I've only got one calculating meeple, so it's good. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and those are leftovers. So that gets me, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18.
Nice.
All right.
Now the last thing that you'll need to score is your position on the
10
game 5 end
points.
track, which is 10 more points. So you add those all up, and that will be your score for the game.
24, 36, 48, and 12 is 60, 74, 80, 98, 108.
Let me just verify your math quick. 18, 24, 30, 36, 48, 54, 60, 74, 80, 98. Yes, 108.
2, 3,
Nice
4,
score.
5, 6, yeah.
Nice
I
score.
think my other score was... No,
Higher. You had 118, I think.
No, I was 103. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
So, again, start writing. 6. 6. I'll get back to that one in a minute. 6 again.
I'll do it as I go along.
6. 6.
Hold
Come back to this one in a second. This one gets me 12. This one gets me 2, 4, 6, 8. This one gets me 8 again. This is worth 6. This one gets me 4. And this one gets me 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18.
And you also get...
I haven't scored for this yet.
Rot-row.
And I haven't scored for this yet. So
or
these
this.
are and or that. So let's do these. These are mutually exclusive because you can't use the same connectors to score one as you do for the other. So let's just make the sets because these are more valuable. Let's make the sets of
2.
Yeah.
Oh, one.
I only have one red.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's
3.
That's one set. So 3 points. However, and I'll just put those back in the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4. So that'll be 24 basically divided by 6 is 4 times 2. 24 divided by 6.
Oh, yes. 4, so 8.
Is 4 times 2 is 8. And the remaining 2 don't give me anything. And then finally, my position on that track is another 8 points.
No. 8 plus 6.
Nope, I already counted 6 when I counted
Oh,
that
my
tile.
apologies. So 97 and 8, you said?
Yep.
All right, well, it's much closer score this time. My 108 to 105 for you.
Very close score.
Last night it was a 19-point spread, so my strategy was obviously more cohesive, not necessarily stronger, just more cohesive. So that's good to see that it's not always a runaway leader.
All these meeples that I had at the end didn't give me anything because I didn't have anything that scored for meeples. So
no, and there are other meeple tiles. Depends on what comes out. And there's only 4 that come out with 2 players.
So one thing about the Keyflower and the Key series of games is the variety of tiles that come out. And I really like the fact that we get so much replayability because there's so many different tiles that come out in any given game.
Mm-hmm.
And no 2 games are the same. The way you lay your tiles out gives you a lot of flexibility. The way you take your strategies also. It's the hallmark really of this series of games, I find, is the flexibility and the amount of strategic choices you have at your disposal at any given time.
Mm-hmm. So for me, like I said, this game, very similar to Keyflower. So when we originally were going to get it, brand spanking new, I was like, well, do I want 2 games that are that similar? And then we kind of found a good deal for it. And it actually, despite watching reviews of it or watching overviews of it online, it actually does have a fair number of differences. It's easy for someone who's played Keyflower to pick up the rules because these games are actually quite a high steep learning curve. So to learn this game was easier. There's enough difference that, you still had to read it. And you still had to plan things a little bit differently, I found. The biggest part being the end game. You knew what was coming out versus in Keyflower, each player gets 3 tiles and they can play anywhere from 1 to 3 of those at the end. So there can be as many, if there's 6 players, there's as little as 6 or as many as 18, which is actually a lot of tiles. And you only know what 3 of them are, so there's a lot of randomization. What you're doing here may not be beneficial because the tiles you got might not have worked. So I do like seeing them, but I also like that randomness in a game that already has a lot of strategy. This game is almost completely reliant on strategy, a little bit on luck, what you pull out of the bag, but that's really about it. Everything else is planning how many you have left, how many you want to put here, do you want to outbid someone, do you want to, so on and so forth. So
I like the bidding mechanism in this game. I think it works really well, even with just 2 players. Obviously, a little more competition with the bidding if you're playing, more players. But even with 2 players, it works fairly well as well. And I like the fact that you can, pass your turn and move into the next era to forego actions or leave the other player the option to, take additional actions based on that. So your strategic choices are pretty high. Keyflower is still one of my top 5 all-time games. I own it with all but one of the little mini tile expansions. I forget which one it is that I'm missing, but I've got everything but that one. I've liked the other Key games in the series. This is a close second for me in the Key series, right after Keyflower. And if you're a fan of Keyflower, you probably owe it to yourself to pick this up.
Now, the only other one we've ever played is Key Harvest, which we own as well. And I really like that one, but it's considerably different. Both in art, because it's an older game, but in general mechanics. These particular designers, Sebastian Bleasdale and Richard Breese, do fantastic work together, and everything I've played from them is very, very good. The thing that is interesting about this game is the art is not at all like the art in the other games, and that's one of the things that appeals to me about the other games is the art. So the art in this obviously isn't quite my thing, but I do like how authentic it is and stuff like that. The other thing I wanted to quickly mention, and I kind of lost it, so I'm just hoping I get it back. Maybe I won't, but you say what you say, hopefully I'll remember.
So, as I mentioned earlier, this booklet comes with the game as well. Sorry, we're going this way now. Haha. This booklet has illustrations of all the various city buildings and sceneries that are represented in the game, along with like some history about each of the buildings as well, highlights, and so it gives you a bit of a feel for the city of London as well. You maybe learn about some sites to see if ever you plan on visiting London. If you're a local, well, maybe you've seen a lot of these already. But yeah, so an interesting information booklet, and all of the tile art is represented in there, along with some historical information.
There's a lot of games that are doing that now. Feast Froden does the same thing, where it's got an actual almanac or a small.
Exactly.
It's really good. I like that because I personally like to know kind of if it's actually based on something in real life. I kind of like to learn a little bit. But I think the thing I wanted to remember was, if you're wondering about how interactive this game is, it can be as interactive or as non-interactive as you want, because the bidding, even in a 2-player game, there's still the bidding, which tends to be a little less so, but sometimes someone will take a tile that you absolutely need what's on that tile. So I find there can actually be quite a bit of interaction and restriction on what you can do based on, okay, like I said, he always had this one, which I really needed, and then I finally got the red, but I didn't have any way to get brown connectors, so I always needed to go to his, giving him more meeples, which may have hurt my strategy a bit based on what I was trying to do at endgame. So I really like how there's so many things you have to think of, and it can be a little overwhelming for some people the first try, but I always say, just play it, see what works, what doesn't work, and then just keep altering your strategy from there.
I do want to give this game another playthrough with a higher player count. Probably go to 4 players, and maybe even higher. But I like to see how this plays out with more players. So hopefully we'll get that to the table again soon at an event sometime in the near future. But that's about all I had to say about the game tonight. Thank you again to Sebastian Bleasdale and Richard Breese, originally of R&D Games. But this version is republished by Quined Games. And thank you to Quined Games as well for bringing this to our table.
So next week, we're going to be playing Walled City, Londonderry, and what's the other?
Londonderry and Borderlands.
Sorry, it's just over there, so I was looking. The reason why we kind of wanted to play that one is because one of the designers is actually a Canadian designer that we know, Daryl Andrews.
And it's published by Mercury Games, and we'll be bringing that to the table next week.
So hopefully you'll get to see us play that one. And that game is in area controls. There's going to be a lot of player interaction with that game, and it's quite a heavy-duty area control game. So it's going to be a brain burner. But with that, I guess we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.